Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have All Roads Eventually by ndsurgenor. Now, I think I might have said that correctly, but I'm not 100% positive. But let's get into our rule sets of this one because it looks pretty cool. Just for the value of the clues here. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains digits 1 through 9 once each. Then we have anti-king and anti-knight constraints. So cells that are positioned a knight's or king's move away from each other, as in chess, cannot contain the same digit. So kind of two rules together. Let's just wade through them for a second and to tell you, see what's what. So if this, let's look at which one's a good digit. Let's do this one. I was trying to shy away from this one, but it's whatever. So for a king's move, essentially what that means is that none of these surrounding it could be the same digit. Now, clearly it can't be that anyway because of this region, but just think if this one was, none of these could be either. It just means that in any one given move from where that value is cannot be the same digit. That's a king's move, anti-king move. Now, anti-knight, if you had this one, a knight moves in like an L shape. So none of these could ever be the same digit as whatever this is. Those are anti-king and anti-knight rules. Now, killer clues. So digits in a cage must sum to the total given. Digits in a cage may not repeat. So it just means that whatever these digits are in this cage, first off, they must add up to the value in the top left corner. In this instance, it's 15, and they cannot repeat. That's all killer cage clues are. And then the last rule set we have are arrow clues. So digits along an arrow must sum to the number given in the associated circle. So let's. This is a bit of a jumble, but I'm going to just say this is the clue I'm looking at right here. So these two arrow cells with this circle. So the arrow clue rule set is all it's saying is that these two clues, or these two digits when added together, must sum to this circle. The same can be said for this one. These two digits must add up together to that circle, and you can continue that that type of rule set out. Now, those are the rules to All Roads Eventually by ndsurgenor. Let's get started. Now, I looked at this because this is an interesting, I decided to try to make a solve of this one because this kind of interesting compaction of clues all together and how they kind of meet in the middle. Now, what can we learn from any of these clues? That's a good question. The first thing I see, which is not necessarily a great start, at least in terms of probably getting ourselves anything of particular value, is we do have a 3-cell arrow. And a 3-cell arrow, the only thing, the very least you can put on is 1, 2, 3, because they are in the same region with each other. So you cannot repeat because they're in the same region. And that means that this digit has to at least be a 6 at the very least. Now, what that does is it kind of makes this be a lower digit because these two clues now have to equal 2 for 13 total. Well, if you have a 9, clearly it has to be 4, 8 goes to 5, 7 goes to 6, and 6 goes to 7. Now, is that going to give us any information? Because it looks like they're tying into not only this 12 cage, but also the fact that we have arrows that are all kind of joining up together. So if this was a 4, this would have to be a 1, 2. And this would have to be a 9 in some instance. But this being a 1 or a 2 doesn't really reduce the possibilities of these. Now, can we look at it at a slightly different angle? If this is a 9, these 3 digits have to equal up to 9. And therefore, this would have to be a 3. It's the only way to do it. And if this was a 3, and we know if this is a 9, this has to be a 4. So if this was a 3, this would have to be a 1. is that useful? Let's think. It does create a little bit of a, and we can kind of figure out what the possibilities for this digit are using that. I don't know if this is necessarily a great way to go about it, but we're going to give it a look-see, just in case. So whatever this digit is, these three digits have to be. And whatever these three digits have to be, then there's a correlation that this digit must be some value to equal up to 12. So like we said, if this is a 9, this has to be 3. If it's 8, it's 4, 7, 5, and 6. It has to be 6. Is that usable? Because can we correlate that now back into, like, kind of going back and forth with each of these values? Because if this is 9, this has to be 3. Or these have to equal 9, so this has to be 3. This has to be 4, so this would be a 1. Let's see if that continues in any way, shape, or form. If this is an 8, these have to be 8. This has to be a 4. Now, if this is a 4 and this is an 8, this has to be a 5, this has to be a 1. So it may be that we're going to get our 1 in the middle here. Now, if this is a 7, these have to be 7, this has to be 5. 7 and 6 equals 13. We already have a 5, so this is a 1. So I think we've discovered what we can at least start with. And then the last one is 6. If this is 6, this has to be 6. If this is 6, this is 7. 6, that's 1. So all roads lead to that 1, eventually. There we go. So it just took a little bit of mathematics to get ourselves into that space. Now, can we use this being a 1 to kind of work with this 15 cage? Because this 15 cage, there's not a ton that can be done with it. Now, you can do 9-6 or 8-7. Those are the only two options for 15 in 2 cells. Now, this cannot be a 9 because on an arrow, and this can never be a 6. Well, let's look at that 2 ways. There's 2 reasons why this can't be a 6. First off, I just said this can't be a 9 because this cannot be on an arrow. So if this can't be a 9, this can't be a 6. The other way of looking at it is if this was a 6, this would be a 1, and this would have to be 7. 6 and 7 do not equal 15. Now, can we do something similar with the 7, like a 7 and 8 type of situation? Now, if this was an 8, this would be a 1, and this would have to be a 9. 9 and 8 clearly don't make 15, so this cannot be an 8. Let's continue with the logic. If this is 7, this is 1, this would be 8. That does work. If this is 6 and this is 1, this has to be 7. 6 and 7 does not equal 15. So this is 7 and this is 8. And that's going to remove an 8 from here, a 5 from here. This 7 removes a 7 from here, so it removes a 6 from here. Now, this can never be a 6 because 1 6 could never add up to anything there. And this can't be a 4. So this is either 3 or 5. Now, where do we go from there? If this was to be a 7, these would have to be 2 and 4. Which I don't think is an issue. Because that would be 7, this would be 6, this would be 5. We got the 2, 4 down here. And these would have to be whatever they are. Now, can we expand out in a different direction? Whatever this digit is, it's 1 less than this one. It's one way of looking at it. Now, 15 in 4 cells can be done in a couple of ways, can it not? Yeah, it can. Now, I don't know if I can't necessarily remove a 1 from it. I can remove 1 from all of these places, but not necessarily here. Now, if we did not have a 1, bare minimum we can put in the 15 cage would be 2, 3, 4, and 5, which equals 14. So it would actually just be 2, 3, 4, and 6 would be the answers in here. That was if you remove the 1, but we cannot necessarily do that. Now on the flip side, on the 25, again, there's nothing really reducing what those digits can be. And I'll make sure I don't forget my anti-knight and anti-king move, because I had forgotten about it to the second, but I don't think it's currently come to play yet. Well, actually it has, because I just was talking about, can I remove a 1? Yes, there cannot be a 1 here. Thank you. That's why it always helps to sometimes glance at your rules if you're missing something. Anti-king, anti-knight. Important here, because we have removed the possibility of a 1 from this 15 cage. These from just normal Sudoku, and this from an anti-knight's move. So these, the bare minimum it could be is 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 14. So therefore we need to increase it by just 1. The only way to do that is 2, 3, 4, 6. 2, 3, 4, 6 are the possibilities. This can never be 2. This can never be 6. Now, this can never be 6, because 1 plus something, 4 or less, can never equal 6. What else is there? So this is either 3 or 4, so this is not 4. Can this be a 3? And the answer is yes, I think still. While it does see all of these, it doesn't see this one. So there is still a possibility of this being a 3. Okay, that's semi-interesting. Now, we can, okay, here's something fairly simple that I just saw as I typed all this information in. Where does the 9 go? This region. Well, it can't go in any of these places, so it has to go here. Now that that 9 is there, it sees this has to be 7, and that helps us greatly, because now a 7 on a 3 cell arrow clue must be 1, 2, 4. There are no other possibilities. So 2, 4, that makes this 3, this 5, this is 4. These are not 3 or 4. Hello. What did I do? I just double-clicked it accidentally. 2, 4 actually removes that there as well. So it's 2 and 6 this way. That 4 sees this one. So 2 and 4. Now, that's something. This 4, 6 is not, well, yeah, it is given, because we've got a 1, 5. I was saying it's not seen by any knight's move, but the arrows that are all bunched up in here can be, it's a little bit hard to see at times when you're not paying attention, but this is a 6. Now, we've got this 25 cage. It's the last clue we have before we start just moving into anti-knight, anti-king. We've got 3 digits that have to equal to 16 in some way. How do we make that happen? How do we? Is there anything that's fairly obvious without having to start just going through possibilities? There has to be. Let's look. Maybe don't have enough quite yet to determine this. So maybe we can start looking at our Sudoku, using that along with our anti-knight, anti-king, and I see something right away that works. So we've got 7s here. This region and this region are taken care of. These can never be 7s now. Now, with both anti-king and anti-knight, we can remove both of these from being a 7, because this cell right here is seen by this one in a king move, and it's seen by this one in a knight's move. So this is 7. Now, is there further we can go? None of these can be 6s. This can't be a 6. But one of these could be. What other digits do we have? 2s are looking down in here, that does it. This sees that and that, so this is a 2. How about our 4s? None of these could be 4s, but one of these could be. Elsewhere, the 6 can't be in any of these, but I don't really like that. Can't be down here, can't be here. Still, I don't like any of that. Can we continue with either our 2s or 7s, because they're the only ones we've seemed to have pulled something out of? Let's take a quick look. That does not look promising, because there's plenty places that 2s are not being helpful with. 7s are probably almost identical. Yeah, there's not really much doing, is there? Okay. Well, actually, let me look at that 7 again, because I did miss a king move in this region. So none of these can be. That can't be. This one can't be, and this one can't be. So one of these is a 7. What does that say? Well, it says that one of these is a 7. Again. Kind of picking a little bit at the moment. Can we continue anything with, let's say, our 8s? No, it just means one of these 2 can be. The 5s, we're looking at none of these can be 5, so one of these has to be a 5. No, nothing there on the 4s. Okay, what can we do with, if anything, with this 25 clue? Maybe we just need to start looking at individual cells and start ruling out options, and maybe that will come together and show us something. Like this cell right here. Well, it can't be 1. It could be a 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4. It can't be 5 because of these. Can't be 6, 7. It could be 8, and it can't be 9. So that is a fairly good reduction in what those can be. Let's continue, and maybe we can get to some math issues. This one right here can't be 1, can't be 2. It could be 3. It can't be 4, can't be 5, can't be 6. It could be 7. It could be 8, and it can't be 9. We might as well just do this one and see if it takes us anywhere. Now, this one seems to be a few more things than the other ones could be, because it could be 1. It can't be 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4. It can't be 5. Can't be 6. Can't be 7. So actually, it's less useful, or not as bad as I thought it would be. And it can't be 9, so it could be 8. So the only options here are 1 and 8. Now, these can't be a 1-2 pair, because that would only leave 12 here, and this would have to be 13. So one of these has to be an 8, so that's not an 8. Now, if one of these is 8, it's either we have 8-1, which equals 9, or 8-2, which equals 10. So our total of these 3 is either going to be 18 or 19. Now, if it was 18, this could be 7. If it was 19, this would have to be 6. So therefore, that does not work. This has to be the 3. Did I just say that right, or did I just completely blank? 18 or 19. 18 plus 7 is 25. Yeah, I just completely went off my rocker there. This is a 7. Sorry. And therefore, these equal 16. This has to equal 9, so it has to be 1 and 8. There we go. It's been a day. It's been a day. The brain is not working at full capacity. Now, we do have that 8 helps us, and the 7 and the 1 probably help us as well, but I see the 8 more immediately, because none of these can be an 8. That can't be by king's move. That can't be by knight's move. So 8. I think we can kind of continue here. Although it's not too good. Yeah, let's see if any of these other ones want to help out at all. Well, we have an X-wing here, as you'll see, in these open areas. So everything I've highlighted are areas where you can't have an 8. We've created an X-wing, so no matter where I put an 8 in here and an 8 in here, none of these could be an 8. So that forces this one to actually be an 8. Therefore, none of these are 8s. That's not an 8, so one of these has to be an 8. Now that we've said that that has to be 8, we can get rid of all of those, and that one, and that one. So one of these is 8. And therefore, none of these are 8s. That's not an 8, and that's not an 8 by Knight's move. This is 8. None of these, but that doesn't really do me much good. Now on this end, this number 8 region, none of those can be 8s. So that actually does give me another X-wing, because one of these has to be an 8, one of these has to be 8. So none of those can be an 8 by the X-wing, and that can't be 8s via the 8s looking at it. So this is 8. I swear, mouse, if you keep doing this to me, that is an 8. Okay. Now, could we go anywhere further with this one? Yeah, we can, because now we've ruled out all of these as 8s. These here, see those, so this is 8. Okay. Now, I think we were down to these two being possibilities of 8s. So like I said, none of these could be. Now, this one can't be because that sees it, so this is 8. And the mouse strikes again. 8 and 7. That gives me an 8 up here, and I think we're done with our 8s. Yes, we are, because this turns into an 8. Let's get rid of that. Now, as I was saying before, I think our 7s are going to be useful now because we've got a bunch more of them looking into the world. None of those can be 7s. Well, one of these two could still be. None of those. That one can't be. One of these two can be, so that can't be, so that forces this one to be. Now, all of these are out, so one of these is a 7. One of these was a 7 is what I said. Can we continue our 7s anywhere else? Yes, we can, because this one can't be a 7 by Knight's move from here. So one of these is. That points it here, so this has to be 7. We can get rid of that clue. And we've got an X-wing left on 7s, which it doesn't look like I can solve at this moment. Now, what were some other ones that we saw? Was the 2s? It was somewhere in this box. So we've done the 8s, we've done the 7s. The other one was a 1. So is this 1 useful in any way? It removes the possibility of all of those being 1. So one of these is. So therefore, none of these are. None of that. That one isn't by Knight's move, so this is. In here, we're removing all of these as possibilities, so one of these must be. Those can't be. That can't be. That can't be. This is. Oh, I don't know what is going on with my mouse right now, but it's actually annoying me. Removes this one from being a 1, so this is a 1. Let's get rid of those. None of these can be 1s. This can't be 1 by Knight's move, so there we have that one. Let's continue. One of these is a 1. And what's left down here? None of those can be by Knight's move and by Sudoku, so one of these is. And therefore, that points at this one. This cannot be a 1, so therefore this is a 1 that points back at itself by King's move 1, 7, and 1. And we can start getting rid of these, and now we can probably go back and look at our 7s again, because we just, yeah, so 7 now is finalized up here. Okay, there we go. So our 1s are done, our 7s are done, our 8s are done, and we've got some leg room now to start going. So let's just start looking at what some of these other ones can be, because we've used all of our actual clues. Now we just got to go into Sudoku with our King and Knight move constraint. So here, these two digits have to be from 3 and 6, and 6 is looking here. So this is 3, this is 6. Now, none of these can be 3 because of this one right here, so this is 3. And it's probably going to continue. That can't be. That can't be. What about over here? Not so useful. That doesn't see any of those, but it does see a bunch of these. So this one has to be 3, and then it'll see these two, so this one has to be 3, which with those two combined will see all of these, so this has to be 3. So these are all 3s. Now, I don't think I can continue with the 3s any further right now. Because what we have, well, maybe we can. Maybe there's an X-wing in here that I'm not seeing just visually. So all of these 3s are looking into these 3 boxes. So those can't be 3. Or these are the only possibility of 3. These are the only possibilities of 3s. And these are the only possibilities of 3s. That does not get me where I was thinking of. Okay, so I just did, it wasn't there. I thought it might be. Let's go back now to our column here, because that's going to tell us whatever this digit is. So these have to be from 4, 5, and 9. Is there anything else that says they can't be any? That can't be a 4, clearly, but that's the only thing. So this one has to be a 6. It's the only digit left now in this region. And these 2 digits have to be from 5 and 9. The 9 sees this one, so that's 5, that's 9. And we're going to jump into, which row do you guys want? Because there's a bunch of them that we could look at. Let's try up here. Let's start from the top and go down. So let's really start from the top and go down. Is there anywhere I can completely reduce 2s on that row? No. How about 4s? No. 5s, neither of these can be 5, but I can't rule out those. 6s, these are all out for 6s. So one of these is a 6. Let's get that in there. And then 7, 8, and 9 are still left. So that's a big old no on that row. This one, we've got 3 digits left, 2, 4, and 9. And the only thing that's looking at any of it seems to be this 2 looking here. The 9s, there's nothing looking at anything, and same with the 4s. Okay, let's move down. I don't know if I want to go to this one. Let's go to this one. It's got 3 left, so maybe we can figure something out here. What do we need? We need a 2, so there has to be a 2 in one of these, because this 2 sees this one. We have to have a 4. This 4 sees this one, so this is a 2-4 pair, and there we go. We now have a 5 here, and we're going to get this as being a 5. Let's get rid of our notations here, because we don't need them anymore. This is now a given digit of 9. And these 2 are going to be given as 2 and 4. The 2 here sees this one, so this is the 4, and this is the 2. These now have to be from 3, 6, and 9. This is, oh no, I cannot say that. So there's nothing there that I can quite rule out just yet, other than this can't be a 6. But let's just write them in, since we're down to our last few digits on that row. Do we have anything in columns that are looking a bit more interesting? This one has a bit going for it, I guess. We need a 2. That's the only place we... Nope, that's not true. 2s see both of these. This 2 sees this one. This 2 sees this one, so this has to be a 2. Now, that 2 helps us greatly, because none of these can be 2 by normal Sudoku. That's a knight's move, so this is 2, 4, 2. Are we done with 2s now? We are, I think, because we can fill in the rest of them without any issue. I think that was all of them, right? Yes. Where was next? We know what these 3 are, so it's going to give us this one. We've got 4, 5, and 9. Let's put them in, and then we'll come back and remove options. This has to be 6. Right? Yes, that's correct. 4 cannot be either one of these because of king and knight, so this is 4. Let's get rid of those. This 5 sees this. This is 9 and 5. I swear. 9 and 5. That puts a 5 up here because the 9 sees it, and these are not 9s. So we got a 4, 5, but we got that 4 down here, so let's just finish. I can't type properly. This is not a 9. This is a 5. Remove 5s. 4 sees this. This is 9. This is 4. I'm having issues, folks. I'm having issues. This one has to be a 9. That 9 now sees both of these, so this is 9. And therefore, this is 3 and 6. Now, what have we got left? This is just a given digit of 4. these 3 digits, well, maybe this 2 are a better way to look at it. We need to have 6 and 9, and this clearly can't be a 9, so this is 6. Nope, I've messed something up. There is no way a 9 goes on this anymore. All right, let's go back, because I probably just made a little typo in my my mouse was giving me problems. So let's just step back again. Like I said, I've made mistakes in the past. I'm going to make tons of them in the future. There's nothing wrong with realizing you've messed up somewhere, going back and just fixing it. So let's go back and do that. I don't know if I've gone far enough back. We'll take a quick look here and see if we have. This is 4, 5, or 9. That would force this to be a 6. Now, are we going to start going down the same road of an error showing up? Because this would then be 6. 4, 5, and 9 here we can't do anything with. Same with here. All right, let's look at these and try to go a different direction. Sometimes that helps just to clear the mess out of your head. This would have to be from 4, 5, and 9. This cannot be 9. This cannot be 5. This cannot be 4. In fact, that can't be 4 either. So 9, 5, 4. This is a given digit. This is a 4. These two are from 6 and 5. The 5 sees this from here and here. So let's put a 6 and a 5 and hope we've gotten far enough away or far enough back from the error where we don't have any issues. I think it came down here because my brain just wasn't functioning properly. So let's go 3, 9 because that's what's left. There isn't anything looking at these. So what about these two? We need a 3 and we need a 9. And again, none of those appear to be an issue. So we've got a lot of 3, 6, 9s going on. Being a bit more careful now since I've already caused some chaos to make sure I've got everything right. Let's go back to our Sudoku. 1s are done because I think we got a lot of them done already. 2s are done. 3. Nothing quite there yet. 4s. We know these two can't be 4s by the previous logic of king and knight. So that forces 4 here, forces 4 here. Let's hope going out this way got the solve done. This is now 4. This is either 5 or 9, and I don't see anything looking at it. 5 and 9 by this row. We didn't finish our 3s yet, right? We did finish our 4s. We did not finish our 5s just yet, but we can look at them because both of these 5s see this one. So let's put 9 and 5. 5 and 9. 3, 9. This is just 9. These two have to be from 5 and 6. We've got a 5 up here, so let's put our 6 and our 5 in and hope this all worked out. 3, 6. This has to be 9. This has to be 3. Yeah, and the solution is correct. Yeah, so I just had a typo back here and it messed me up. I'm sure of it. Or I just had a brain fart. Or it could have been both of them. The typo could have led to the brain fart. But anyway, all roads did eventually, with a slight diversion off to the side there for me, lead to the solution of this puzzle. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that one. It was a good logical puzzle, albeit from some slight mistakes that just caused a little bit of a hiccup. But like I said, it happens. It happens. No problem coming back and fixing the error. That's just life. So hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.